This podcast is sponsored by ScienceBasedLearning.com. Discover a passion-driven language learning system that combines ebooks, audiobooks, and videos with the science of spaced repetition. Maximize your learning and retention today at ScienceBasedLearning.com.
How to use sin followed by an infinitive to say without doing in Spanish. Learn how to properly use the preposition sin followed by an infinitive verb in Spanish to express without doing something, with examples and exceptions. The use of sin followed by an infinitive in Spanish. When learning Spanish, understanding how to express without doing something is an essential part of conveying negation or absence of action in a sentence. One of the most common ways to express this idea is by using the preposition sign followed by an infinitive verb. This construction directly translates to without doing something, and is a concise and natural way to communicate this concept in Spanish. Basic structure. The grammar rule is straightforward, sin plus infinitive verb. The infinitive is the base form of the verb, such as comer, to eat, hablar, to speak, or estudiar, to study. Sin comer, without eating. Sin hablar, without speaking. Sin estudiar, without studying. Example sentences. Él salió de la casa sin decir adiós. He left the house without saying goodbye. No puedes entrar sin mostrar tu identificación. You can't enter without showing your identification. Ella logró el trabajo sin tener mucha experiencia. She got the job without having much experience. Usage notice. In English, without is often followed by a gerund in form. For instance, without talking or without eating. In Spanish, instead of a gerund, the infinitive verb is used after sin. This is a key difference between the two languages and one that learners should remember to avoid incorrect expressions like sin hablando or sin comiendo. Therefore, always remember. Correct, sin plus infinitive, sin estudiar. Incorrect, sin plus gerund, sin estudiando. Exceptions and special cases. Although the general rule is that sin is followed by the infinitive, there are a few cases worth noting. Use with nouns or pronouns. Sometimes, sin is followed by a noun or pronoun rather than a verb. For example, salió sin su cartera. He left without his wallet. No podemos trabajar sin ella. We cannot work without her. Omission of the infinitive with impersonal commands. In some fixed expressions or instructions, the infinitive may be implied but not stated. For example, sin hablar is often used in instructions, but you might also see prohibido sin permiso. Prohibited without permission. Permission is implied. The verb is omitted. Regional variation. In some Spanish-speaking regions, colloquial speech might sometimes bend this rule for emphasis or style, but this is not considered grammatically proper in formal or academic Spanish. Comparative structures with other prepositions. It can be helpful to compare sin plus infinitive with how other prepositions interact with infinitives. Antes desliz infinitive, before doing something. Example. Antes de salir, cierra la ventana. Before leaving, close the window. Después de plus infinitive, after doing something. Example. Después de comer, vamos al cine. After eating, we go to the movies. Para plus infinitive, in order to do something. Example. Estudio para aprender español. I study in order to learn Spanish. These patterns reinforce the idea that in Spanish, prepositions governing verbs are followed by the infinitive form, not a conjugated verb or gerund. Summary. To summarize, when expressing without doing something in Spanish, the formula is sin plus infinitive. This structure is commonly used, easy to apply, and grammatically correct in both formal and informal contexts. Remember to avoid using the gerund after sin. And note that this rule only applies when seen introduces an action rather than a noun or pronoun. Practice by creating sentences with the seen plus infinitive, such as sin comer, no puedo trabajar. Ella salió sin avisar. Sin estudiar, no aprobarás el examen. Use these examples to help internalize the rule and improve your fluency in Spanish. Learn more about Spanish grammar rules and effective language learning techniques at sciencebasedlearning.com. Enhance your skills with clear, research-backed lessons. Get your copy of helpful resources today by visiting sciencebasedlearning.com.